Really interesting. Wow. Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, he actually gets called in on this kind of board. Like, what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm gonna say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is gonna stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm gonna guarantee that's what he's gonna say. Very interesting though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there too. A lot of times the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold. Yep. Like he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draws. He's going to have king X. And we kind of, I mean, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets, and we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a very good point. You're right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just.
All right, so ooh, look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are right.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
It wouldn't be a
I'm already down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Ah!
Yes! I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold!
The right. But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It
open
says right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak. Welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, you know, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
That's hilarious. And everybody's 50.
Nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who does that?
Who the hell? Yeah, so I got.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
He's
always
just
love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
Right. All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about D-pipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to... What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options for 12 and 1,400. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on a site with these other crushers, you know, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. You know, Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. You know, remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, you know, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation. That's pre-flop? I think the pre-flop.
All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I see people when it comes to poker is when you can get to the turn and there's an opportunity.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400.
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the arm and just see what happens.
All right, and
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's the winning game.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, no, we can't win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol, you know.
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR.
A $10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. Do you know what this means?
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool because we have 2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one. What up, party people? It is Saturday, time for the Poker Coaching Study Stream. We are back in it. Skater Die, Esprit, Rad Dad, Ian, Mike, Cyrus, Contrast, what up? Mike, thanks for 28 months. Ian coming in with the 59 months. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. You tagged me on Twitter. You did. Check me on Twitter. Tennessee Dave, what up? Matt Nickel, what up? Raging Al, what up? You tagged me on Twitter. I don't know where. It's down there. It's down there somewhere. I'll try and find it. How do you use your points? You can... I think there's a exclamation point store is a store that was in there, but to be honest, I barely stream nowadays, so I don't know how worthwhile they are, to be honest. All right, guys, Poker Coaching in the chat for you to get in the giveaway. I don't see any new people out there, so I don't think we need too much of the explanation. You get in there with Poker Coaching in the chat. We'll draw 2 winners. You guys take the quizzes as usual. With 6 is gone. I'll have to have two browsers up, which means the score you see on the screen will be all kind of honked up. And then I'll have my trusty notepad here. I was talking to him yesterday. I think he's got 3 more weeks. So he'll be back before long. Hollywood in the house. While you guys are doing that, I will try and find a good quiz. Do a JL from the main. Is he in jail? No, his kid has football the last few weeks. On Saturdays at this time. So he's been doing the family thing. You are a mensch! Keeping it up. Make my grandmother so happy. Oh shit, hang on. Let me get this weird shit out of the way. Sorry about that. A mensch! You're mashugana. Rise and grind. Out here with the spree. Showing his Jewish colors. Coming out with the Yiddish. My man. I see you. That's a wild question. Is it though? Is it really that wild? How wild is it? I guess it's wild considering he's home and he's not in Vegas. Who is here for the week? Completely legitimate question. Hello, Mom. I'm in jail. I kind of like it here. Any of you old school punk rockers out there? Hey, what up, Brian? You ain't that late. We've only been rolling for a minute or two. Yeah, that's right. I kind of like it here. Nice. Nice. Legends. That's why we're family. Because you guys even get the obscure shit. That's right. All I wanted was a Pepsi. Just a Pepsi, but no. I went to your institutional learning facilities. All right, enough of that. Enough of that. Think we're about ready to draw. Got to get the game going. Got to get the blood pumping. I'm a little foggy today, as you guys might be able to tell. A little foggy. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. I was traveling a bunch, and then I caught a cold. And then the end of this week is the first week I've been really trying to get back on the grind schedule. I played my first 2 sessions the last couple days in like 2 weeks, which for me is unheard of. Too many gummies? No, just too fucking old. Definitely feeling a bit better, for sure. It wasn't that bad of a cold. It put me down for like a day and a half, but like one of those I missed a Sunday, which is crazy. I saw a guy lose a whole prosthetic leg at a suicidal tendency show. That's pretty amazing. That's funny. D Dozen, what up, man? Hey, thanks for the kind words there, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. All right. Anyways, let's pick some winners here. Let's get to learnings. Let me find my pen. First winner is Esprit, of course. Esprit. And second winner is Mr. Monkey. All right, guys. We got Monkey on the side screen. Esprit up on the main screen. Dude, where's my leg? Cool. Let's do this.
Jack 7 offsuit early in the World Series of Poker main event. Falls around to the small blind, who limps. Should we check, raise to 400, raise to 600, or raise to 1,000?
Limper in the small blind. What are you all doing with the Jack 7? Oh, shit. What are y'all doing? Are we like 3 billion blinds deep? Yes, we are 3 billion blinds deep. Trying to multitask here temporarily. Give me 1 minute while you guys are doing your thing. All right, cool. Check for a spree. Check, check, check. 1K for Al. Check, 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 check. 600 for Monkey. And for Ashes. Check, 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 check. Trash enough to raise. Raise 1K for Ashes. Check because we deep. 600 for Cyrus. 1K. Check. I hate this hand, says Dozen. Good morning, Mr. Nudist. Good morning. So we got spree checking, and I believe it was Monkey going 600. Yes. This deep. One, I mean, I don't know how much theory this guy's got in the main event, but 350 bigs deep, we are limping range in the small blind, including things like aces and ace king. You'll see that a lot. Like, I don't have any 100 blind charts to show you, but I can show you. I'm sorry, 300 blind charts to show you, but I can show you like 100 blind charts. When it's blind versus blind, this is a spot that, like, nobody fucking does right. Theoretically. I'm pulling up the charts now. Give me 1 second. It's an overwhelming limp percentage from the small blind, which means they're not necessarily capped. They only have 80. On the damn PokerCoaching app. But even at 80, look. I mean, look how much limping. Aces. Ace king. This is at 80. And it only goes more limpy the deeper we are. Look at this in theory. So in theory, you know, this is better check back for sure. I would check this back too because this is a good one. These big card, middle card raises start to happen from this, as we get down to like 30. Yeah, see what happens when you go 30? Now Jack 7's there, right? At 40, Jack 7's there. At 60, not so much, right? So the big card little thing starts to happen closer to 60 bigs. In theory, this is a check. Now, in reality, people are going to be pretty straightforward, and if you want to attack a limper here, fine. You're in position, which is great. What up, Travis D? Congratulations on your gigantic super win, and glad to see that your surgery and shit went well, buddy. But yeah, you can see the deeper we are, the more we check because the more they limp. So, cool. I have a check. Yeah, a spree checking on this, and monkey betting on the other one. Let's find out. The bet was 9.
This is an interesting spot because we are playing very deep stacked against players in the World Series of Poker main event. As your opponent plays better and better, obviously just play closer to the GTO strategy, which mixes it up here. You'll raise sometimes, you'll check sometimes. I usually err towards just checking with the, call it junkier hands like Jack 7. I'm a little bit more inclined to raise just the real trash, like 10-4 offsuit.
Yep.
And then just good hands like suited connected hands, suited kings, suited aces, big cards, etc. Consult the charts of PokerCoaching. I realize that we are deeper, far deeper here than those charts are. I realize we have only 80 big blind deep. And, you know, you can mix it up. It's fine to play very mixed strategies when you are very deep stacked. Anyway, I think, though, in the World Series main event, there certainly is merit to making it something like 1,000. Imagine you know with a high degree of certainty that your opponent's going to fold to 1,000 chip raise. well, then making it 1,000 is just great, right? Because then we just win the pot every time. So as your opponent is a little bit weak, a little bit straightforward, just make it 1,000 and steal the free 600 chip pot. Realize whenever you do make it 1,000, you're actually only putting in 800 more into the 600 pot. So
Preach, JL,
if they fold more than like, I don't even know, 60% of the time, you immediately profit. I'm sure my math is a little bit off, but it's something like that. And I'm sure there are plenty of players in the World Series main event who will literally limp and then fold to a 5 big blind raise every time, or close enough to every time. And that's because they raise all their best hands, and when they limp, they just don't have a best hand. So if you think your opponent's just especially weak and straightforward, I think 1,000 chip raise actually has a pretty good amount of merit. You definitely don't want to raise tiny because then you're always going to get called. So either check or raise normal, but maybe in the main event or against very straightforward players, raising big could be really, really good here because it's just free 600 chips. All right, anyway, flop comes. Jack 9-4 after we check pre-flop. The opponent checks. We have top pair. Should we check, bet 200, bet 400, or bet 600?
All right, guys. You had the explanation. Pretty much what we said, right? Check a lot. If you want to raise because people are weak and straightforward a lot, it's okay. It was 9 points for raising to 600. If you can look at your opponent and tell, the classic JL quote, right? All right, everybody going 200 except for Meatball, and sorry for the bad beat. Monkey going 200. Praying going 400. Nudist going 400. $400. Let's go 200 like a little bitch. All right, 200 for a spree. 200 for Monkey. Travis going 400. Checking for Al. On a board like this, I would argue we could size up out of position too. I mean, I'm kind of on the same boat as Travis. We're like, this is kind of a wet board. I would tend to go 400 myself. 600 pot seems a lot. Pot seems too much with a 7 kicker. 400 seems pretty good. 200 seems okay too. I would probably go 400 a game though. I think myself on a board that needs a decent amount of protection, right? We don't have a club. We don't have a... Yeah. Yeah, well, and I would say this, like, I'm probably going to bet check a decent amount to protect my checking range on the turn. I don't know that I'm checking it here, though. Checking it here seems a little wicked, but betting and then checking turn seems kind of appealing with a 7 kicker. And then you bet with your better kickers, I would think. A spree going 2. Monkey going 2 as well. Let's find out.
This is a very dynamic board. So if we do bet, we are going to bet on the bigger side. And I think we certainly should bet in this situation. We have the best hand almost always. It's somewhat likely to get outdrawn, so we just want to put some money in the pot. So either bet 400 or 600. I don't think we want to check many top pairs in the spot. If I did have like a 9, I'd probably be checking.
Sure.
But I think a jack can certainly bet either 400 or 600. And I think because we are super deep stack compared to the pot, I think a 600 bet's probably slightly better than a 400 bet. Although I did bet 400 here, and the fact that I would bet bigger here comes purely from the fact that I've been studying a lot at PokerCoaching.com. In the process of making the advanced tournament course, I've learned on very dynamic boards, you really do want to be betting big, and that's especially true in scenarios where you're super deep stacked, which will usually be the case in limped pots. So I think I should have bet 600 here, but whatever, 400 is fine too. Opponent calls, turns a 4. Opponent checks. Should we check? Bet 400, bet 800, or bet 1200?
Is that one of those cards we want to check? What do y'all think? Check for Meatball. 800 for Nudist. 1200 for Hollywood. Ash is checking. Monkey checking. Joey checking. All true things there, Mr. Praying. 1K in between the two sizes there for Mr. Al. 800 for a spree. Check for Monkey. They part ways again. The moment of truth. Matt mostly bets to buy the river, but checking is probably fine. Check. Julian Timmett to blow up the pot, says Dave. Travis wants to check because the 7 kicker. One pot control and check, but not sure based on JL's last street. He made one of the 2 bigger bet sizes. Majority check. Bet's going to be bet small. Okay. I mean, small blinds absolutely calling all pairs on the flop. That's for sure. Our sizing is definitely repping more of that top pair marginal kicker on the flop. Continue to tell the story. I think we're betting 800. 4x a smaller part of the range with the flop size up. They have all the draws on the straights and clubs. I like to bet here to maintain for the river. Lots of conversation. Lots and lots of conversation. So I think 1200 is out. One, the board paired, and they have all the 4s. And I guess we went limp check, right? So we have 4s too. But yeah, board paired, and I don't think 1200 is a thing. Plus at 1200, we start to push out draws and things, and push out a 9, which is not really good. All the draw shit kind of stands. If I were to bet, I feel like I would bet 800. If I were to bet and kind of go the standard 60-ish%. But I do think I'm going to check here. We have a marginal jack. I want to keep things like a 9 in. And we're deep as fuck. So, yeah, I mean, I would probably check the jack 7. And be betting more things like king jack and ace jack, of course. Although I would raise ace jack pre. So maybe king jack and queen jack, things I wouldn't necessarily always raise pre. It is too weak to bet 3 streets, but is it strong enough to bet 2 streets? Right? Because we can always, like Matt was saying, right? Bet here and buy the river and just check, right? And get 2 streets. And the good thing about checking here is it protects your checking range. So that when they do have missed draws on the river, they get the bluff, and we get to easily snap it off. Betting here is okay too, but I don't know if we get as many chips. I would check. I forget what's happening here. 800 for the spree and check for Monkey May I. So we go check on this screen and 800 here. Check
now we're in a tricky spot because obviously the opponent could have a 4 and obviously they could have a better jack. And if they have a 9, they may not even pay us off for all that much. So I think in this scenario, we should probably err towards checking. You will find that once you bet big on the flop and then the turn comes, you do want to check back some top pairs because otherwise your range is very weak going to the river. Like imagine I bet every top pair on the turn, and I already told you I don't have any 9s because I would check back a lot of 9s on the flop. But what's that do to my range? It makes my range worse than a 9 going to the river, which is really, really bad. Mm-hmm. So if my checking range is total garbage, then the opponent can just crush me by betting every river. So to help combat that, we need to check back some top pairs, and usually that's going to be top pair where the kicker is pretty bad, and right here obviously the kicker is irrelevant. So I like checking it back with this one. If we are going to bet, of the options I gave, I think 800 is probably best just to extract value from draws and a 9. But any bigger than that, you're going to start to get a 9 to fold, and that's obviously not good because that's what we would be trying to get called by. But look, this 4 is pretty bad for us, right? Because the opponent could easily have a 4. They limp pre-flop, they call to raise. They're definitely going to check call any 4, so we do have to be cautious against that. If we do bet, we could also be, and get called, we could be against the jack, and those will be better than us a lot of the time. And we're going to get raised sometimes by draws, which is also a disaster. So this is an excellent spot just to let it check through. River's a 3 of spades, and the opponent bets 1,500. Chunky bet, a bit more than the size of the pot. Now, it is worth noting, some people will bet 1,500 thinking it's over pot. It must be huge. Other players will think 1,500 is just the amount that's in the pot because they can't count it or they can't keep it in their head. Anyway, fine. They go 1,500. We have top pair, no kicker. Should we fold, call, raise to 3,500, or raise to 6,000?
Alrighty, we face this big old honky bet. Everybody calling except for Al. Al, you said you're betting 2,500 on the turn. Is that for value? Because then my next question is, if you're betting over pot on the turn for value, what's worse that's calling? The answer is nothing. So over bet, not good. And if you're turning a jack into a bluff, what's better that's folding? Nothing. So also not good. Skate or die folding. Why, Skate? Why? No, we induced this overbet by checking turn, first of all. Raise Kayoko. He don't give a fuck. Again, I ask, are you raising for value or raising as a bluff? Raising for value or raising as a bluff? It always keeps you in line, right? I mean, it's really simple when you think about poker. I mean, there's a lot of nuance and a lot of intricacy in a lot of these spots. But if you always keep that in the back of your mind, you are raising for value. Then you have to ask yourself the follow-up questions. If you're raising Jack 7 for value, what's worse that's calling? Is Jack 6 calling? We're splitting with Jack 6. Is like Jack 5 calling? Right? Pretty tough to get value when you raise here. And we don't really want to turn top pair no bluff. Right? So yeah, I think we have to call. This is one of those weird spots though, like, you know, I'm going to go Jonathan a little. If you can look at your opponent and tell that they're not really studied, then, you know, folding this overbet seems okay. Only in that, like, they're only going to be overbetting really strong hands and not going to have overbet bluffs. If you're playing me, you got to call this motherfucker. Because I'm going to do this to you with, like, you know, king, queen of clubs and things. Right? Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. So yeah, call against good players for sure. Against randoms, I can half see an argument for folding. But I don't know what Jonathan's gonna do here. It seems kind of crazy. Right? If you're playing me, raise to call my re-raise. Well, I ain't that crazy. I don't have very many, like, I'm not the 4-bet 5-bet bluff kind of guy. That's for sure. Yeah, but again, like, we can't get called by worse if we're raising. So we're at best splitting and then gonna get crushed by everything else, right? If you're playing me at 4-4, see, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. All right, let's call. I think. Let me make sure here. I believe everyone was calling here. Just want to make sure. Spree calling. I see you, and Monkey is calling. I'm sure, just because I know him pretty well. All right, cool. Let's call and find out.
I think calling is our only option in this spot. One thing I am going to really try to do at the World Series Poker Main Event this year, and in all tournaments going forward against non-professionals, is to be a little bit more inclined to hero fold on the river. Just because I think a lot of people aren't going to make big bets without good hands. I think they're just going to be super value heavy. The problem, though, in this spot is that what is value heavy? Well, any jack may bet big, which we're chopping against some of those. And also, there's a ton of busted draws. Whenever there is a ton of busted draws, that is the time you want to become very call happy. And this is a spot where I'm going to have many worse hands. And this is one of the best hands in my range. So can you justify folding one of the best hands in your range when the board has a lot of draws that missed? And the answer is no. So this is just an easy call. We do not want to raise for value or as a bluff or anything like that. Because if they have a 4, they're always going to call.
Right.
If they have a better jack, they're probably going to call. So raising has no merit whatsoever. I also don't think folding has any merit either. This is just a pure call. No way around it. You get shown a full house. All right. Look, this is fine. Sometimes you're going to lose. This is A-okay. Good thing we didn't bet the turn, right?
So I agree 100% with Jay on this, except on the river. I think that, again, like if you're playing against standard main event player who's not a professional, folding has some merit on the river when they overbet specifically because they're not going to overbet bluff. They're going to bet some other size, you know. But against any thinking player who works on the game, you have to call. Super nuts. All right, cool. Winner is Mr. Monkey May I. Congratulations on that one. We need a new keyword. New keyword is sleepy. Because I'm a little sleepy. And while you guys are doing that, I was thinking about that one, Pram. We'll get to that probably at some point. I'll pick a quiz. That was a good quiz, though, right? I think it's a spot we're in a lot. I think a lot of people are betting a marginal top pair for value and don't have any top pair in their check back range because they're like, oh, this board is wet. I want to buy the river. But, yeah, you got to have some top pair in your check back range. And your worst top pair is usually the good. Because when you're betting, you want to bet your best top pair to be called by worst top pair. But if you have the shitty top pair, it makes it tough, right? Contracts, I said I didn't see it, but I do get tagged a decent amount. So I apologize if I miss it or missed it. I have one missed notification right now, and it is from Mr. Mike Cash. There's a clip of Marlon going crazy on last night's stream. Repost, bunch of follows. Couple of likes, bunch of follows. My Twitter is pretty active, homie. I don't see it. So if you had a question for me, hit me up again. Al, you are incorrect. Period. Sorry. You just are. You just are. The hell you say? Yeah, I don't even know what the clip is, but I'm sure it's funny. I haven't seen the clip yet. Set abs, good morning. A normal night for Marlon. Marlon was good yesterday. We had fun. Marlon wasn't like completely losing his mind. Can I get the sub to Peanut Flush? Yes. Yes, I can. I most certainly can. Let me get that done while you guys are doing your due. And I will take care of that right now. To my channel. Yeah, super good time. Super good time, Machine Gun. I made a bunch of final tables. I had one final table yesterday where I was like in the lead by a ton. And the same person I got it all in 5 times with in a row. 4 times I was ahead and I lost all 5. I ended up busting in like 4. So you got to tell you, go show you, I doubled up someone 5 times. Before they got me in 4th. So this goes to show you how many chips I had. All right. I actually bubbled one yesterday too. Actually, I bubbled one and a couple final tables. It was okay day. Gift to a specific viewer. Peanut flush. What really sucked is that one where we busted together. What happened? Why did you go crazy? Well, the busted one together there, Peanut, because it folded to me. I had a very short stack, and I jammed on the button with a suited ace. But had I folded, I ran into kings and like ace king or some shit. It said I just folded the weak suited ace. I would have got another ladder. Let me just make sure I got this correct. This has to be you, I believe. PEA. Nut flush. PEA. Nut flush. Gift the one. All right. Hey, what up, Paramedic? Thanks for the good luck, buddy. I watched Final Tell Nightmare against that villain. That's why I switched to cash. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But hey, it's hard to make final tables, right? And we had a profitable day. Like, we can't fucking bitch. We can't bitch at all. All right, let's draw our winners for the next quiz. Beat you bluntly on the main screen. Up again. Hey, what up, Shark? Thanks for the 4 months, homie. Up against Cyrus. The legend of the Toe Army. While Cyrus on the side screen, we'll have Beat You Bluntly on the main screen. Rigged. And off. Oh, I gotta pick a quiz too. But all right, we'll go with the Affleck quiz. All right, ready, go.
All right, in this hand we have
monkey one.
King Queen offsuit in the cutoff, and we have a very easy raise with our bigger stack. Get called by the button here. Who's playing about 30 big blinds.
Monkey.
Flop comes Ace 9-3 rainbow. Should we check, bet 2 big blinds, bet 4 big blinds, or bet 6 big blinds?
All right, what happened here? We opened the cutoff. Button calls. Ace 9-3. What do we do? What do we do? Check, check, check. 4 for Shark. 4 for sorry for the bad beat. 2 for Medic. 4 for Bad Bro. Yeah, this is supposed to be short stack play. The guy's 25 bigs effective. It's not that short. 4 for Meatball. 2 for Cyrus. Matt, I would say do what the good players are doing if you think that's what the good players are doing. You know? Like, I think, you know, it's one of those things where this is where you want to cheat off the good players, right? Cheat off the nerdy kids in school and do what they're doing. My brain isn't working. It starts with a P. What's the fucking word where you copy word for word? Plagiarize. You want to plagiarize the good players, right? That's the story of my whole career. Plagiarize the good players. Easy. Easy. We did raise pre. We raised in the cutoff set and got called by the button. Who's up here? Beat You Badly and Cyrus. I know Cyrus bet 2. And Beat You has not replied yet. Swift, you may see checking. 2 bigs. All right, 2 football players. Yeah. So one thing you'll notice about this cutoff versus button spot, it's actually the first spot I ever like studied with Pio. Coincidentally, it was a study group where I was studying with Sixes and Affleck was looking at both my database and Six's database. He's like, wow, you guys are way over c-betting out of position in general, and even more so cutoff versus button. Cutoff versus button, you're checking like 80% of the time with like 80% of your fucking range. It is massive, 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 massive check spot. So I would be checking here pure, because you can never go wrong by checking cutoff versus button in the cutoff. And most people are c-betting here incorrectly. So it's a pretty massive number. The only caveat to that is that, like, ace-high boards, this guy didn't 3-bet you pre, doesn't have top of range ace-x, and you do. I could see that argument, but you're better off checking range here. So, both contestants bet 2. Let's check it out.
So a common misconception here is because we raise pre-flop and we get an ace on
Here
the
it
flop, we
goes.
should be doing a ton of c-betting. In general, out of position, when we get called by a player not in the blinds, we're going to be doing more checking than we are betting. A good rule is whenever our offsuit broadways miss, we're going to be doing a decent amount of checking. So we have just too many Jack 10 offsuit, King 10 offsuit, Queen Jack offsuit, all these types of hands that miss. There is something helping us here is that the 9 is on the board. The bottom of our cutoff range is going to be hands like 10-9 off, Jack 9 off, Queen 9 off. So we do get a c-bet more on this board since the offsuit 9s hit. But if this was like ace 8-3, there'd be significantly more checking. So kind of minor details. This hand doesn't really benefit at all for a c-bet. We're going to fold out some queen high hands and king high hands that we dominate. We aren't going to fold out really any pairs. All the pairs are going to peel at least one bet. We're going to be building a pot without a backdoor. You know, we can't turn an open-ended straight draw. We can't turn a backdoor flush draw. You want to have more equity when you bet out of position. So I like this hand for a check. If you bet, like, I'd bet small. If I am in a bet, I would be the only size I would use would be bet 2 big blinds. So I do check. And we face this quarter pot bet. Should we fold, call, raise to 5 big blinds, or raise to 8 big blinds?
All right, check, face, a bet. What do y'all do? What do y'all do in this uncomfortableness? Minor detail, but one you've never heard before. Always learning, always learning. Rude sizing. Standard sizing. Standard sizing. Call for Cyrus. Cringe call for Matt Nickel. Monkey calling for the pot odds. Peanut, Babby, folding. Calling for Meatball, folding for Ashes, folding for Skate. Lots of mix. Call for Contrast, fold for Missy. Said not scared. He's raising. This guy had an ace to raise me pre, he says. Think a call king I could still be good. If it were a player that is going to continue, I would fold. Cyrus calling, and we're looking. Oh, Beat You Bluntly is folding. We are parting ways here between two contestants. This is not the FT. There is no ICM involved. Pick up 4 blinds, stare him, and then drop 1 blind and slowly pull your hand back. We have a weak backdoor draw, sure. Yeah, so Beach Bloodly is folding, Cyrus calling. I think we have to call here. It's a little uncomfortable, but we check here. They are going to bet this, like, with range. Most certainly in real life, even if they're not supposed to do that in theory, they are going to bet here a ton when we check, and you have your best non-paired hand. And like you guys were saying, they would raise their best ace-x, which means they have marginal ace-x and other things that missed. I do agree that folding things like queen jack, queen king 10, king jack is probably going to be to fold. But this one, I believe, is going to be a call specifically when they bet quarter pot. So I think we have to call. Cyrus calling on the main screen, beat bluntly folding. Let's find out. Fold 8 points, so it's
kind of a
close.
Sticky spot here on the flop. This is just a small enough bet that we need a call with some high card hands here. We're going to call with all our pairs first. We're going to call with a lot of backdoor flush draw hands. King Queen is our best high card hand here. I'm folding hands like Queen Jack, Jack 10 offsuit, these types of hands. Probably even folding King Jack offsuit. But versus this small of a bet, I'm going to peel. But if this player bet like 2 big blinds, like a third pot, we're sensitive enough here with King Queen off that I would start folding to a third pot. And I think it's fine if you fold here to a quarter pot bet, especially if you're getting close to an ICM bubble. If there's if you're 30% of the field left, I'd start folding here. We want to conserve our chips a little bit more. Early on in the tournament when there's no ICM, it's already a kind of a closest spot. So you can use your player tendencies here. A lot of players don't bet enough in this spot, so I don't hate fold, but it's just a small enough bet that I think paying off 1 is probably going to be the best course of action. Yeah, they might not bet enough on the flop, but they also probably just don't barrel the turn enough, so we're going to realize equity. So there's some push and pull going on here. Call or fold. Don't have a huge preference. Turns the ace of clubs. We're going to check to the better here, and they check back. 8 of spades. Should we check, bet 3 big blinds, bet 6 big blinds, or bet 9 big blinds?
Oh, so flop was pretty standard for me. This is a little bit of a weird sitch going to the river, for sure. I had to read it 3 times before I was like, wait, angels? Why are we shooting angels? Those gangsta angels. And the other thing too, Joey, right? And if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? The old saying. Check for cap, check for contrast. Snap 6 for Meatball and Al. Peanut checking. Monkey going 6. Check call for Biomedic. Check for Ashes. Ugh. Spree going out there with 9. Lots of checks, lots of checks, lots of checks. We have every answer now. Blocker bet for Cyrus. Ooh, we even said is checking. Wake up, grab your chips, and call to the river. Things after the turn check check were a little too good to bluff, says Joey. 9x is never folding. Never folding. Never folding. Yeah, I mean, the thing about the blocker bet, like Cyrus suggested, is that usually when you put a blocker bet out there, you need to have the small caveat that we can call by worse, and we have king queen. You're not getting called by worse, right? So that makes the blocker bet bad. The other thing too is like when they check turn, when the ace comes, they're not necessarily capped. Some people are going to be tricky with the ace x because when you check call flop, now like what are you going to call 2 barrels with on an ace turn? You start to fold out things. And so that's bad. So checking means they're not necessarily capped here. And so with those things, I think I'm leaning toward check. If you are going to bet, again, I don't think the blocker works very well because you can't get called by worse and you're not really getting better to fold. So I would say, like, if I was going to bet, it would likely be somewhere in the 9 range. To try and get things like a 9 to fold. I think you have to bet pretty big to get a 9 to fold. And I do agree, Hero's got plenty of ace-X. So yeah, I think we're leaning check. Cyrus bet 3, and I believe Beachy bluntly checked. Nope, bet 6. All right, let's find out.
Another close spot on the river here, deciding if we want to check or if we want to bluff. It always is nice to start with our value bets. We're going to have a lot of weaker ace-X hands, like ace-8 and below, that we want to value bet here for probably a middling to, you know, somewhere between 6 and 9 big blinds. I think we can value bet all our 9X hands here. Yes, the in-position player is going to have like some ace-4, ace-5,
you need to have something,
ace-2 suited, but there's not many combos of that. You know, the better ace-10 off, probably barrel. It's like 9X, you can get value from pocket 7s, 6s, 5s. You know, king 9 can get value from worse 9s. So we definitely have some 9X hands that can value bet here. In terms of bluffs, we just have enough worse hands here. We're going to have hands like Jack 10 of spades, hearts, and diamonds. We're going to have hands like King 8 suited with the backdoor flush draw that calls the flop. We're going to have, you know, Queen Jack suited, Queen 10 suited, all those hands with backdoor flush draws that peel the flop. All those hands should slop before King Queen here. We have just enough showdown value that I don't think we need to bluff this hand. If we were, I'd probably size it like a, you know, middling size, like 6 big blinds. I think that's the size we want to use here with like an ace-4, and probably even could use with like, you know, king 9, that type of a hand, pocket 10s, pocket jacks, queens, kings, aces, those types of hands. Seems reasonable to me. I go for a check, which I think is fine. And we face this 6 big blind bet. Should we fold? Should we call?
This is where shit gets weird.
Or should we go all in?
What do we do? Affleck is very smart. Very, very smart. He's definitely smarter than your average bear. Everybody folding. Good morning, Jamblance. She's folding as well. Call for skate. Says, nah. Correct answer was fold. Beach bluntly folding. Cyrus folding. Everybody folding. Now he punished them for value betting a 9. And just value own yourself all the time they have an ace. Fold the hero bluff catch calls when there's no draws. Probably pretty smart overall. Sedhab's calling. He's not scared. He's not scared. I mean, we're going to have some ace-X in our river check range too, I think. For sure. Because it's going to be betting like range in position a lot. And then check on the flop. And then when we bet, like we're targeting a 9, which is a very small portion of his range. And then like other pairs that didn't 3-bet us pre, right? So that means that takes out like jacks plus, right? So even 10s are going to 3-bet you on some frequency, right? So like he just has still a ton of ace and pairs and stuff. I think I would fold as well. I ain't trying to hear with king high. Could find easier spots. Yeah. Yeah. Especially with the no draws. Agreed. I mean, but even with misdraws, like, we're talking about calling with king high. Like, fuck. Right, hero said halves. Fair. Yeah, Kep, I was saying, like, I would have some ace-X in my range for sure. Please say call. Please. All right, both contestants folding. Let's find out. No, don't fold.
Generally, I like to fold here a lot.
Real heroes
yes, we need to do some bluff catching here. I think we'll have some pair of 8s here that we can bluff catch with. We can have like a pair of 7s, 6s, 5s, and 4s. When this player bluffs, they probably have like a jack, a queen in their hand. So like the queen isn't as useful here. Like a queen, jack, or 10 are the most likely cards, like jack 10, queen 10, something like that they're bluffing with, queen jack. So, you know, bluff catching with like a pocket 6s or 7 is reasonable. Bluff catching with like 8, 7 suited seems pretty reasonable. I think we have just enough bluff catchers here with king, queen, that I think going for a fold here is fine. People tend to, in my opinion, not bluff as much on the paired boards, but that's just an opinion. I'm not sure if I don't have any factual proof behind that. So I think you're almost never going to be making a mistake here by folding. That would be kind of my general lean here.
Yes. Sorry about that. Yes. I hated this hand. This is like so standard. So standard. It's like every day, all day standard. Easy peasy. Beat you buddy, congratulations. You win with the, let's see, 26 plus 6. 32 points. 26, 28 for Cyrus. Congratulations. Beat you bluntly. Let me know how I can send you your $5 prize. ACR, Cash App, WhatsApp, Venmo, Carrier Pigeon, Smoke Signal, Gift Sub. Let me know how I can get you. Congratulations, sir. Do Rex over bluff on paired boards? I mean, I would just say just fucking fold. Like, and don't worry about missing value from all those king high hero calls you missed. Right? Like trying to up your king high hero call percentage isn't going to show you a lot of money in the end. And that's just the truth. All right. New keyword. Oh, we can do cash next for sure, Monkey. We got time for that. New keyword. Oh, since we're doing cash, we'll just do Gripst for the keyword. Our good buddy Evan. Toe is a beast now. We got to keep it modest. We got to keep it modest. All right, let's find us a Gripst. All right, we're good, we're good, we're good. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Ashes. You get the first quiz automatically. I should have done that, right? And picked like a Lexi quiz or something. I missed an opportunity there, Prime. I missed an opportunity. For sure missed an opportunity. Oh, there's up a D plus streamer. That's right. That's right. If you guys didn't see all those links above while we're waiting, !point Discord in the chat to get into my Discord server where we talk about some fun stuff, poker, UFC, some chess, and mostly poker and stuff. !point PC Discord for the link to their Discord server. Where that's where the real good stuff is, which I'm going to show you right now. Here we go. Ba-bang. There is a ton of rooms here for you guys. This is all 100% for free. There's general chat. This was the sweat for Giraffe when he just won the biggest online tournament in history for $2.7 million. General tournament chat, whatever. You post your scores, introduction, blah, blah, blah. There's study groups here. You can see this one's going on right now. And then here in the event section, there are every month. Look at all these. Look at all these. Most of them free and available to you, all recorded, so that if you can't make them live, you can go watch the replay. Hand history rooms of all kinds. Here's the MTT room. You can see it's going off pretty good. All of that available to you for free. If you want to see this stream or any of the streams we've done in the past, !point YouTube in the chat with all our illustrious guests and guest hosts. And I'm missing one !point PC if you want to sign up for free. Or if you want to sign up for the premium as well. All right, cool. There's the shilling. Shilling done. Shilling done. Why is this the dead man's hand? Ace-8's dead man's hand because that is the hand that Wild Bill Hickok was playing when he was shot in the back of the head and the legend was killed. He was holding Ace-8 off suit. That is why it's the dead man's hand. Yeah, 2.7 mil. Not on that, but have you seen his grind station? Like, I'm a spoiled brat with this room and all these monitors and shit. This motherfucker's playing on 227 inches in an attic that's like 4x4, and it's got ankle-deep cigarette ash. And from an ex-smoker who's actually only 4 months off the cigarettes, it's pretty crazy. The overflowing amount of ashtrays in this motherfucker's attic. God, it's got a reek in there. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, everyone said I'm better than Giraffe, and this motherfucker's out there with his third 7-figure score in his career. Crazy. Crazy. Coulter. Oh, I was on the gum there for a minute, monkey. But I'm off the gum. I've been off the gum for a week, so completely off for the last week. With the Nicorette, 4 months. Do they have IKEA? I believe he's Dutch, right? Or maybe Belgium. One of those places. His girlfriend makes him stream outside in a side building because of his smoking. Oh, that makes sense. He still needs to, like, build himself a little walled-off area. Austria. There you go. The Germans. All right, cool, guys. Let's roll the winner. Babro up on the main screen. And winner number 2 is Missy up on deck. All right, well, Missy on the side screen since she was pulled second. And we have Babro up on the main screen. Let's get our cash game on, eh? Let's get our cash game on. Somehow I messed this up, but that's fine. All right, let's do it.
Hello, Poker Coaching members. Evan
Hello,
Jarvis
Rips.
here for PokerCoaching.com, coming at you with another cash game quiz. Today we're playing some 100 No Limit Hold'em over on Poker Stars. We got ourselves in a good game, couple regs, couple wrecks, and we face a limp under the gun. We got the dead man's hand, Ace-8 offsuit. Not a hand that we would always be playing, but in this particular situation, I think we might want to mix it up. What should we do? Should we fold, call, raise to $3, or raise to $4.50?
Pretty sure you did this, Pucks. No spoilers. On stream? I don't think so, because it would have had a score. I don't believe this one had a score. 21, 29. Let me make sure. Did I fuck up? 21. Oh, I did fuck up. I did fuck up. Hang on. We need a redo. We need a redo. This one don't count. Sorry. Here we go.
Hello, Poker Coaching members. Evan Jarvis here for PokerCoaching.com. Coming at you with another cash game quiz.
Streamer.
Playing some 100 No Limit Hold'em over on Poker Stars. We got ourselves King Queen. We have an under the gun limp.
My bad. I didn't see the score.
A raise of about pot from a reg in the game. And we're in the small blind.
Downgraded to D.
On 130 effective.
Story of my life.
With the big blind, who's a little bit loose passive. And what should we do? King Queen. Off suited. Should we fold? Call? 3-bet to 16 or 3-bet to 20?
Did he just say King Queen off suited? Is that a thing? Off suited. Off suited, he says. Fold next quiz. Could be a thing. We've seen that sort of thing happen. We've seen that sort of thing happen before. What got Canadians say off-suited? I see. Is that what it is? Lots of folds, lots of folds, lots of folds, lots of folds. Matt Collin kept popping to the 20. Says, fuck your ISO. Meatball folding. Babro on the main screen going 16. Peanut raising. What's Missy? Missy raising. Missy going 16 and Babro both going 16. In the tournament, I flat. Doesn't feel bad about it. Easy squeeze. I don't play much cash, though. So 16 says dozen. Brogy Man trying to level with the title. Close shop contrast. Put out like an out to lunch sign. What the fuck? Where are your priorities, homie? Small bet unnecessary calls here, but not this hand, says Joey. We are in the small blind skate. In a tournament, I would be player dependent here. I would call against someone who I thought was aggressive enough to be ISOing wide enough. You know, maybe the correct type of ISOing range. But if I think they're leaning towards strength, I would probably find a fold here. Lots of conversation here. 20s, lots of 20s coming in. Skate coming on 3-bet team. This call is fuckered. But I respect Grips. I reckon he is quite tall. I actually have never met him in person. He was out here and then ditched me like a month ago or whatever. But I mean, I would be inclined to fold, and because I just think people are more strength heavy when they do this and less wild, you know, and less loose. And we're out of position in a bloated pot, so I would be inclined to fold here. I think a lot of people would flat here in real life. Book test, I don't think I would ever raise, though. This is strength. Like, why are we raising? Why are we meeting strength with strength, but with a marginal hand? So raising seems a little wild. But, cancel Grips, that dick. Yeah, he was out here filming a bunch of stuff with ACR. I just didn't have time for Toe, the guy who doesn't play ACR. Yeah, I'm not sure what the theory is, but we're already out of theory, right? Because there's a limp and an ISO, and so all right, cool. Boca gets within 16. Let's find out.
Now, under normal circumstances, this isn't a hand that we have to get involved with here. If we think the player who's opening is playing a pretty solid range and is going to play pretty well post flop, being out of position, king queen offsuit, not going to be the easiest hand to play well post flop, and so folding here is actually totally fine. That being said, we do have a limper here, who is someone who may get involved in the action, who maybe we want to invite in. So calling has some merit there. King queen suited, a slightly better hand for just calling here as opposed to king queen offsuit. But it is still a hand that can dominate some of the limping range, limping Broadway range, king jack, king 10, queen jack, queen 10, things like that. And then 3-betting has some merit too, because this player is isolating an under the gun limp, and we have some great cards for 3-bet bluffing, semi-bluffing. We've got the blockers to the king, blockers to the queen. So we can really go either way with this hand. Folding is fine. 3-betting large is fine. 3-betting to a standard sizing, 16, pretty solid. And just calling here, going to be fine as well. For this quiz, we're going to start it off with a call, looking to invite in the under the gun limper, who decided they weren't interested in playing on. So flop 8 deuce 4, 2 spades, 1 diamond, giving us overcards, backdoor flush draw, No backdoor straight draw. Check to our opponent who bets half pot. What should we do? Should we fold, call, raise to $15.50, or raise to $25?
Evan, you're getting yourself in hard spots. All my homies hate ACR. Yeah, I mean, my problem with ACR, it's not about all that talk you hear about RNG and bots and all that collusion, all that shit. Well, obviously that stuff does exist. That's not my concern. My main thing with ACR is that the playing experience is fucking awful. It's miserable. A 5-hour late reg is just no fun. It's no fun playing 18-hour tournaments. Like, it's just no fucking fun. It's horrible. It's terrible. That's like the main reason that I don't play on ACR. Terrible playing experience. They are of the mind where they want the big bad guarantees, and that's what draws all the players. I'm of the mindset is I don't give a fuck. Give me the smaller guarantees and a play experience that, like, is enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with the big fields, right? All the big field sites. All right, what are we doing here? We got Mandical raising 25. People call it bad bro folded. Said raising. Brogy calling. Spirit says, fuck this fucking hand. Fuck! You only mentioned the last 30 minutes in ACR. The problem is now you're like, I mean, that could be a viable way to go too, in all honesty. But now you're always playing short stacked, and I don't know. Like, the other thing too is, like, with 3,000 man fucking fields and stuff, you need 300 to 500 buy-ins on ACR. I think most people are doing that, which is another reason why a lot of people go broke on ACR, because they don't realize the massive, especially in tournaments, the massive amount of variance there is in 5-hour late reg, 3,000 man fucking fields. Like, it's absurd. Absurd variance. Now we're scared. We did flatten game. Pucks. Yeah. I agree, Skate. Jambland's calling. Yeah, it's crazy sad. It's absurd. It's horrific. Like, I'm on the best coast for playing poker, right? Like, I'm on the West Coast, and, like, I don't reg past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Because if you ledge past 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're playing till 4 or 5 in the morning. On the East Coast, I don't know how those guys do it. Like, I don't know how they exist. Even guys like Drew, who's like on East Coast time, and Kellenberg, like, you're playing till 4 in the morning. Like, what the fuck? It's crazy. And their 2-hour late reg tournaments aren't juicy enough for me to, like, focus on those. There's not enough of them, right? Fuck it. All right, what am I doing in this spot? Full pre, full flop, full turn, full river. Ship these cards into the muck. Ooh, I mean, he's going to see bet range here, which is the problem. We have a spade. So I don't think in theory we could fold. I think we fold without a spade. I think that's the answer. Let me see what the troops were doing. Bad bro, I believe, folded. Yes, and I missed Missy. Missy, are you in here somewhere? There was a lot of chat going on. Missy calling. All right, let's do it. Boom. Bet online would be really tough too. Basically break even on there. Probably just big field variance though. With bet online, it's actually because their blind structures are really fast. One, which obviously makes it higher variance because you are going to be all in a lot. Also, the player pool on bet online as a whole is wildly aggressive. So you're very frequently finding like doubles and triples and taking flips there too because of that. What makes it a little higher variance as well. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, Missy, you're calling. I see that. I see that. Missy on the side screen with the call. Babro on the main screen with the fold.
And again, if
Both
you
were 10
decide that
points.
you want to fold here because our opponent still has a range advantage over us, we didn't connect with this board. We're not going to connect with this board very much from the small blind. We'd be representing a pretty narrow range of hands if we continue. If you just want to fold here, that is totally fine. That is going to be a 10-point play. But in the interest of some more learning opportunities, we're going to choose to continue in the hand. And I'm going to tell you, you can continue in this hand almost any way you want. Folding is totally fine. Calling and floating, because of the fact that we have 2 overcards here and that backdoor flush drop, be better if the king was a spade rather than a queen, but still. Calling here, going to be totally fine. Also, check raising and turning the hand into a semi-bluff here, 6-outer semi-bluff, going to be fine as well. This is a board our opponent's going to be firing a continuation bet on, probably his entire range. So while the overpairs have connected, the overcards have not connected unless he's sitting on spades, and that's going to make for a tough hand to call down with should we choose to apply aggression. In this particular spot, I chose to go with the check raise to 1550, but again, if you chose to check call, totally fine. If you chose to check fold, it's totally fine. They're all going to be 10-point plays for this particular quiz. Our opponent calls, and the turn is a jack of diamonds, 42 in the middle, 80 behind in stacks,
Evan.
effective 2x stack to pot ratio. What should you do? Should you check, bet $10, bet $20, or bet $40?
It's true, Brian. It's true. And, you know, it's like anything. It's like the guys who, like, had VHS collection or a DVD collection. I have a huge DVD collection, like 1,500 DVDs or something. But Pio is the same, where now with Ruse and the tools getting to be where they are, like, having your own Sims is becoming less and less of a necessity. So I have like 60,000 Sims that I've actually been thinking about potentially deleting to save the hard drive space. That I'm not going to do it yet, but we're getting close to that time where they're kind of obsolete, especially with Ruse. What are we doing here? Lots of checking, lots of checking, lots of checking. Ashes following through. Would be better for sure if we had the King of Diamonds there, contrast. I mean, Monkey, like, do I need it? Do I use it? Like, only when GTOW is down. Especially because I have the AI, right? Yeah, Bad Bro, you're going to play this turn as if, you know, as you're Evan, who raised it. So now what do we do? How much my Sims lots? But I have, God, I don't even know. Like, I have a 50 terabyte NAS or something. How big is this motherfucker? It's big as fuck. 50 terabytes, RAID 5. It takes up a lot. Here, look. Here's the Pio folder. It's going to be counting for a minute. There's a lot of files. This size is incorrect. It is going to go up. Why didn't I sell them? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I never really even thought about that, to be honest. And also, like, no, it's way more than 2 gigs. Make copies and print. It's like 60,000. I'm at 10,000 folders. Oh, yeah. Here you go. You guys are talking about 2 gigs. Nah. It's going. It's going. It's going to be a few terabytes for sure. It's going way up there. Ding, 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 ding. All right, I'll let you know what the final answer is. Maybe we'll get to it before the stream ends. What I'm doing here, I would be likely check giving up at this point myself. Like, we check raise this board. Plus, we have a spade, which is kind of bad. We block their spades. Their spades and stuff. Which makes them more pair heavy. You sent me a DM on Discord. All right, I see your DM. Yeah, KB, we're cool. Like we talked about before you started school. Like we're cool, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Check fold, take your spot. And the other thing is, like, we didn't pick up equity. Like, usually when we fire a turn... What is that folder? That is the folder of all of my sims, which is still growing. This is all of my Pio sims, which is over 10,000 folders, and right now 25,000 files and counting, and getting close to 5 terabytes. Getting over 5 terabytes. Yeah, like I always said, like a little side tangents. Like am I a smart guy? Sure. Am I smarter than average? Maybe. Am I smart as like Affleck and Justin Saliba? Not naturally. You know. But I'm one of the hardest working mofos in the biz, and I put in years and years and years and decades, and a lot of time. Fuck, we're getting closer to 7 terabytes. Look at this shit. Here we go. Kep's got 12 terabytes of Sims. Although I haven't been running Sims in a long time, Kep. Yeah. I've also created my own ag reports, which is basically like a... I don't know how we got into like my nerdery. But I have built my own ag reports with Excel. That's basically my own GTO wizard. And I can filter for like everything. I think this is going to be version 5. Let me see. I'll show you some nerd stuff. Oh, yeah. So here's like my ag reports that I built. I don't know how I'm going to get this on screen, but I can filter by any card, any board type, any texture. And if I click like one straight, for example, these are the graphs and what you do for all the boards. One straight. This is on the flop. I have it for equity, and there's a bunch of graphs that you can kind of see here. I have it for flop dashboard. That's the flop dashboard we just talked about. I have turns as well. And here's the turn dashboard where you can pick anything you want. You know, bottom gappers, flops, 2 turns, and I will forward, and then all these things will automatically update based on that. So I am a super nerd. And did all that right in time for Powell to come out with rules, so you don't need that shit anymore. I would fold here, by the way. We said that. Oh, and looks like 14, almost 15 terabytes. And just under 60,000 files. So there you go. GodsBigToe was, yeah, like I said, not an accident. I've seen more Sims than most. All right, so I got distracted by all this shit. What are people doing here? Check. We're looking for Missy and Bad Bro. Bad Bro checked, and Missy, I don't see in this mess where I got distracted. Missy. Looking for Missy. Missy, what did you do? What's the difference between Pio and Equalab? There's a big difference. Equalab will tell you how much equity your range has versus other ranges, but it's not going to tell. She checked. Thank you. It's not going to tell you about like what to do. Like if you've seen GTO Wizard skate, Pio is GTO Wizard. Like you get to pick your bet sizes. You get to pick your They checked on turn. What do I do? What's the equity? They bet on turn. These different sizes. The difference in Pio is that you. You could set your own bet sizes and your own ranges and run them yourself. Take the time to run them yourself versus being forced to use the ranges / bet sizes that GTO Wizard has. But when GTO, thank you, Missy. But when GTO Wizard has the ruse, now you can adjust all those things, which is less, less need for Pio. It's not an SSD drive. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 drive NAS device. There. I'll put it in here so you know what I have. TS 1635 35 QNAP. I have this which is basically a giant series of hard drives all you might have to copy and paste that whole link because they did some weird shit. But there you go. I have one of those. Here. Let's see, I have one of these. there. And it's all RAID 5. So if I lose one hard drive or pull one hard drive out, I won't lose any of my data. Everyone check it. Let's find out.
If we're going to continue betting here, we want to apply maximum pressure to our opponent by the river, which in my opinion means we should probably bet about $20 if we're choosing to bet, such that we'll have about three-quarter pot remaining on the river. That being said, this Jack of Diamonds did not improve us, didn't give us any more outs than we had before, and it didn't make us any pairs. We would prefer to continue on spade.
We did not pick up any
queen,
equity.
So this isn't the best card for us. I think that the best play for us in this spot is to simply check. If our opponent wants to bet at the pot, it's going to be his. But if our opponent checks behind, saying he doesn't have a hand that needed protection and a hand that didn't want to go for value, maybe we'll have a little opportunity to do something fun and funky on the river. So we check. Our opponent checks behind, which opens up the door. Depending on what that river card may be, we have to think about what kind of hands our opponent is bet calling the flop with and what cards we want to continue on. Do we want to bluff spades? Maybe we want to shut it down on spades. What about an 8? What about an 8? Do we want to do anything on an 8? Well, the decision is yours, my friend. Do you want to check? Do you want to bet $15? Do you want to bet $30? Or do you want to bet $55?
What the fuck happened? Went check on the turn? Is that what happened? I think it went check. Now the question is, do we bluff? Right? Man says 8's a bad card, easy check. Yes, I went check. $30, you can get her done, says Cap. This went check, bet, call, check. Got it. Contrast going 55. 30 for Meatball, 30 for Monkey. Briggy going 55 on Team Contrast. Buck says checker 55. Villain has a lot of 8s though, so checking. It went check, raise, flop, check, turn. Check. 30 for skate. Missy going 55. Looking for bad bro. Check for bad bro. You're checking over. I think pretty sure that says. Missy going 55. Bad bro checking. Prayer, thanks for hanging out, buddy. I appreciate you, man. We're wrapping it up. This is going to be the last quiz. I think we have more 8s in our range. Say it ain't so. All the customers just disappeared. Somehow, Contrast didn't win a quiz entry today. That's unheard of. How did that happen? Everybody else got a chance. Damn, it is quiet out in the streets today, too. No one is streaming. I don't even know who to throw it to next. I'm kind of like trying to get prepared for that and don't even see nobody. I think we have to bet. I think we have no showdown value for the most part, and I would probably lean like the 55. Missing with 55, big Bravo checking. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for him to have an 8. He ISO'd. He doesn't have much 8. And the problem is that we check raise, check. Like, what are we repping? Like, repping fucking nothing. That is a problem. But I don't think we have showdown. Could y'all just FaceTime sixes at the same time? Alright, sixes. Fuck. Rep the dead man's hand. There you go. Way to bring it back. Way to bring it back. I mean, I can't help myself and be bluffing this, but I'm also at the same time, in full disclosure, like having a problem figuring out what we check, raise, check, and then bet. Like feels like a misdraw, like every time, right? Anyways, missing 155. Bad bro checking. Let's find out. You can do both.
And
Jesus.
again, I'm kind of partial
like,
either way.
This was impossible not to switch.
Just know, if we're gonna bet, we got to bet big.
This is impossible not to switch.
We want to represent.
It was tens for everything, everywhere.
We can be representing an 8 when we check raise, check the turn, now bet the river. Our opponent's not going to have that many 8s in his range. Granted, we're not going to have that many 8s in our range either. So what we're really looking to fold out, if we go for a big bet here, is missed flush draws, ace high, which beat us, and maybe some small overpair at 9s, 10s, or some interpair between 8s and 4s. I think if we bet 15, those hands are not going to fold. All those hands are not going to fold. Even the ace highs might not fold. If we bet 30, we'll probably get the ace high spades to fold, but we're not going to get any of the pairs to fold. So if we want to get those pairs to fold, we're going to have to bet big to the tune of 55. If you don't think your opponent's going to fold enough, don't think he's going to buy the bluff enough, check in here and giving up, totally fine. We don't need to commit a lot of money in this pot. As we said before, could have just folded pre-flop. But as played on this particular river, it felt like it was a decent spot for us to try to take this pot away from a medium strength hand that our opponent might have. And it's hard to make the big call when faced with the big bet. So that's what we do, and we do get our opponent to fold, taking down a $42 pot. Patting our stack a little bit and just having a real good old-fashioned fun hand. Anyway, lots of interesting spots on this particular hand.
All right, Missy,
shows how you
bad
can
bro,
get
call
creative
it
and make a
tails.
play, but don't think that means you have to.
Whoever
and
calls it
also
first
know
gets
that
it.
it's all right to be making plays once in a while, but if you're doing it too often, your opponents are probably going to catch on to it and going to start looking you up. So it's best to do when you have a tight and solid image, and your opponents are likely to give you credit for having the goods because they haven't seen
Heads
you
for
show
bad
up
bro.
without them before. Anyway, this has been Evan Jarvis for PokerCoaching.com. I hope you enjoyed the quiz. I hope you learned a thing or two, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yeah, I switched it too, but everybody switched this one. Everybody switched this one. Coin flip in the air since it was a tie, and it is Bad Bro who snakes the win from Missy, who picked tails anyway, so it was super fair. And there you go, guys. There you guys go. That is a motherfucking wrap for the study stream today. I appreciate the love, the follows, the subs, all the good things. Sub priest, Bad Bro. I will hook you up indubitably. Cool. You're good. And that's a wrap. I gotta go do the family thing and rest up for the big Sunday tomorrow. Make sure you check out Crazy Sixes. Crazy Sixes will be streaming tomorrow for sure because he's crazy and that's what he does. And even though he is not here today, he will be back shortly. And he is my partner and good buddy. There's the link for him. Pray and Laugh. So exclamation point caster for him. So make sure you give him a follow even though he wasn't here. Exclamation point C to get these quizzes for free. You get 10 free quizzes. Big blind charge, 400 blinds or more. Homework assignments. If you sign up for the premium, there are webinars every week with these coaches you get to go to and talk to directly. The master classes and advanced classes are amazing. So make sure you check those out. Worth every fucking penny. Exclamation point PC Discord for the Poker Coaching Discord. You can sign in there. It's absolutely free. There are hand history rooms where there are lots of coaches, including myself, answering hands all the time. Plus 6 free study groups a week in there that are all recorded, so you can check those out. If you want to come into my Discord and hang out, there is my Discord server. And if you want to watch this one from the beginning or any of the ones we've done in the past with sixes, with all the guests we've had Greg Raymer, Jesse Sylvia, Bet on Drew, we've had Fat Train, we've had Lappy, we've had like every streamer you could possibly imagine, and every poker coach and coach except for JL, I think. So make sure you check out the YouTube channel for that as well. I'm going to throw the host over to PokerTact. Don't know nothing about him, but he's one of the only ones streaming right now, and he's playing some high stakes cash. So there you go. That's it. That's a wrap. See you later. Peace.